Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, all our guests. I'm Eric from Wediggit, alongside with Freak from Jamf. A very warm welcome to our cybersecurity webinar focusing on protecting your Mac in the workplace. So, us here in Wediggit from Israel, we are an Apple solution expert specializing servicing customers around the Apple ecosystem alongside the Jamf MDM management. In recent years, Jamf pulled a lot of resources in promoting cybersecurity skills, and that is the topic of our webinar. And we're very happy to host Freak from Jamf. So, Freak is a seasoned veteran in the area, in the field, and he will do a technical drill down for you, showing you some options the Jamf and ourselves as the regional integrator offer you. So, Freak, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Arik. First off, thank you for joining this webinar. We'll be getting started very soon. Quick notes, this webinar will be recorded and it can be emailed to you when it's ready. Please save all your questions for the Q&A. Hear me by now. Please make sure your sound is connected. So let's do a quick dive. So, as Arik mentioned, my name is Freek de Jonge. I represent Jamf as an account executive and channel manager for the Middle East and Africa, and I will be your guide today in the webinar. So let's start with a quick look at the agenda. First, we're going to talk about Jamf and what we do. After that, we'll take a quick look on the security on macOS devices through the lens of Jamf Protect, and we'll end with the Q&A. So about Jamf, I hope the majority of you already know what we're doing, but if you don't, let me have a quick recap. Our mission is to help organizations succeed with Apple. We only manage Apple devices, we do not manage Windows, and we do not manage Android, but our singular focus allows us to provide a best-in-class product for organizations to manage their Apple products. Jamf is the go-to choice for organizations in tech, banking, and global businesses. Over 60,000 organizations trust Jamf to manage over 26 million Apple devices. This also includes 23 of the 25 most valuable brands in the world. On the screen, you can see on this report from IDC that Jamf is the market leader when it comes to Apple enterprise management. This means companies above 1,000 employees see great adoption in macOS. Since 2018-19, there's actually an increase of over 7% of Mac adoption in the enterprise. The reason why we are leading on this board, according to the report, is because of Jamf's singular focus on Apple, and we consistently provide the best support when it comes to Apple in the enterprise. We have a strong ecosystem and integrations with industry-specific solutions, and Jamf offerings are creating unique workflows for iPads and iPhones in healthcare, retail, and transportation. The company's strength in macOS features, coupled with macOS-specific identity and security products, make us the leader in Apple enterprise management. So how does this look from a product perspective? Well, as you can see on the screen, Jamf is the only Apple enterprise management solution of scale that automates the entire lifecycle of Apple in the enterprise, including device deployment, management, and security, without negatively impacting the end user experience, and also without IT touching the device. Jamf preserves the native and consistent Apple experience that people expect at work, while fulfilling the security, compliance, and privacy requirements of the enterprise. Beyond antivirus, attack detection, compliancy controls, and remediation, Jamf provides a broad range of additional security solutions into one integrated platform. But today, we are going to focus on the Jamf Protect part. So, about Jamf Protect. Jamf Protect is an endpoint security solution purposely built for macOS that gives the enterprise security teams unprecedented visibility into their entire macOS devices. With customized telemetry and on-device detections, Jamf Protect extends Apple's security and privacy model while upholding the user experience. Jamf Protect is built on top of native macOS frameworks to optimize and be non-intrusive to end users. So, as I mentioned before, Jamf Protect is our endpoint protection platform that we designed exclusively for macOS, with the main pillars of value being the ability to monitor endpoint compliance, detect and catch known malware, prevent corporate data leakage, detect new and unknown threats, and streamline the remediation of endpoints in the event of an attack. But an important question that we always get is, why do we need an endpoint specifically built for macOS? So, historically, there have been some very real challenges for macOS users with the security toolings. The core ones are listed on the screen. Fundamentally, they've all stemmed from a true lack of focus from endpoint security vendors building a tool for macOS, both in understanding how macOS is designed and the differences it has to Windows devices, but also in understanding and leveraging native security provided by Apple. Ask any person in IT that deploys a security tool what their biggest challenge is, and they're more likely say it's end user experience and the help desk tickets that follow. Other tools on the market are known to cause slow system startup times, have a higher CPU usage, and a bad memory utilization. And overall, it's taking away some of the magic that we expect from macOS devices in the first place. So often it's problematic enough that entire groups within a business will have the tool partially or entirely disabled because it just doesn't work. So what's the point in having such tool? So this continues to be one of the main drivers and main pillars that customers are reaching out for and starting the discussion about Jamf Protect. Another symptom is the lack of understanding and focus what is actually happening on the Mac, and therefore the threats that we are able to detect. Many customer evaluations consistently proven that Jamf Protect is more than capable and detecting a wider range of threats happening on the device, not just catching commonly known hardware and malware, but samples for Mac-specific and greater threats of adware, but also increasing the overall hygiene of the network. But with Jamf Protect, this is simply a different story. We have a long history of success within the Apple ecosystem, and our focus has always been Apple first and Apple's best. Jamf rapidly adopts innovation in the Apple platform, particularly in areas such as security, and the best examples of this are the speed at which we adopted the endpoint security framework for our detections. We are leveraging native macOS defenses from a system integrity protection, run it as a system extension, and achieving efficient on-device analysis of threats without needing it to send off to a cloud solution, resulting in a consistent improved end-user experience compared to other tools. We're not only ready with same-day support for the new Apple Silicon Macs, but we also were prepared with a detection engine fully ready for malware that quickly followed with the M1 adoption. So another core value proposition is our internal threat research team called Jamf Threat Labs. We have some of the best minds in the macOS security industry working, building, and writing our detections. They are researching and reverse engineering malware and detecting new vectors on the platform. This was exemplified earlier last year when our team found 2 zero-day vulnerabilities within macOS that were actively being exploited on end-user machines. We both identified and detected them with our newly purposely built Jamf Protect solution. So we covered why the businesses need a macOS specific tool and all the value that comes with ours. But now we're going to have a deeper dive into the product feature set. And we're going to start with monitoring endpoint compliancy. So CIS is an industry standard benchmark, and the goal of this is to harden and leverage the fantastic security tools already in place into macOS. macOS has fantastic runtime app security, native encryption, and an application firewall, and a plethora of other features that we should be configuring in effort to fend off an attack before it even takes place. Of course, many environments are going to have a different risk appetite and a desired level of management. So benchmark reporting is fully customizable to match. So now let's see how Jamf Protect prevents no malware execution and leakage of corporate data. So threat prevention is exactly that. The part of the product that ensures that no malware is detected and prevented from launching and infecting a Mac. Put simply, this is our antivirus component of Jamf Protect. So on the screen in the orange bar, you can see some examples of the malware types we are detecting and blocking with threat prevention. But suffice it to see, if malware tries to execute and we have a signature in our threat intelligence database, we will catch it. We will prevent it and we will put it in quarantine. So we can protect it from infecting the device. Our detections team go to great lengths to ensure we are curating a macOS specific threat intelligence database in an effort to keep the footprint on the device as small as possible. We also open this feature for our customers, so you can easily block applications or do threat hunting. You can simply pop in a file hash, application ID, team ID, or a developer certificate, and Protect will prevent the execution of the target file and warn you within the console. So what you will see on the screen is an example of a malware called Zuru from late 2021. The attack vector of this is tricking the user into running a Trojanized version of a trusted application. Of course, nowadays this is more common and it's more effective than it's ever been. So this is going to be a great example. So what we can see here is that the user is executing the malware and macOS is actually requesting to confirm it again if the user wants to allow it. This is of course a native security protection, but we can actually see that the user was able to override it and continue. But the malware is protected and prevented from executing because Jamf Protect is stepping in. Jamf Protect scanned the threat, saw it as a known threat, and is advising the user as such. So on the screen right now, we get to see the alert that was generated in Jamf Protect, containing information such as the host name, the path of the malware file that was detected, the name of the malware, and the threat signature. So in the background, the malware was quarantined and the threat was neutralized. So we're going to dive in now how we're going to protect our corporate data with our solution. So we can prevent corporate data leakage, accidental or otherwise. With macOS Big Sur, Apple actually got rid of the USB controls and media access settings inside of the MDM framework. But now we are able to manage removable media via the Endpoint security framework with Jamf Protect. So we can block all access, mount as read-only. We can limit devices that are not encrypted or from a specific vendor, or it has to match a specific serial number. We are gaining control over how and when users are able to copy sensitive data, or get rid of corporate data on their Macs with removable storage, or block the Macs from using storage entirely. So let's see how that looks like on the screen. So the user is connecting a personal USB that is unencrypted. The organizational policy is only to allow write access to encrypted work devices. So the USB is mounted as read-only. The user then mounts a work USB that is encrypted and gains full access and full read and write access to the volume. So we can actually customize the messaging that the users are seeing on the screen. So what we can see here is that we can see the file is written to the USB device. We have the pathway. Should the users connect a valid drive and copy the file to it, the USB analytic detection will provide this visibility in the tool. So let's see how Jamf Protect can detect new and unknown threats through behavioral analysis. Ideally, we want to catch all threats that make a way on our device, but in the real world, it's not always possible. Therefore, it's critical to have behavioral detection as another line of defense. What we're doing here is monitoring for events that can occur across the operating system, whether it be a process creation, a file system change, a file download, and detecting whether it takes place in suspicious or malicious content. We have some of the examples of the types of threats we're detecting on the screen. Such as notably novel threats, new variants of known malware, the exploitation of known macOS vulnerabilities, or living off the land attacks. So here we can see a range of alerts that come through. So let's click into one and see all the information that provided right out of the box with Jamf Protect. So what we can see here, a suspicious launch daemon item was created, something that can allow a piece of malware to persist to system restarts and also attempts of removal. The analytic action on screen shows us that the device was placed in the Jamf Pro Smart Group when the behavior was detected, allowing us to automatically trigger a remediation actress to the device management. The alert status shows us in progress, meaning someone from the security team has been here and is already investigating this threat. The full name of the launch daemon is captured, as well as the file path. We can see that it's called com.apple to masquerade if it was from Apple itself, but it's not in the expected location. Even the name of the executable and binary that is going to run at startup is captured on the screen. So if we actually investigate and navigate further through the alert, we can actually see the full path of the executable, as well as the code signing information that it carries. We can double check, because when we look at the binary, we can see it is ad hoc signed and not by Apple. So this is a very suspicious indicator that this is an unwanted threat on the devices. If we want to block any further risk until we have completed our investigation, we could easily grab one of the file hashes and use the custom prevent list feature in threat prevention to block this binary from being run on macOS in our environments. So we can also see the user attribution logged in the event. So we can see the name was standard, we see the unique identifier, basically all the information that we get on screen. So what you see on screen right now is an example of a piece of data filtered from the macOS unified log with Jamf Protect, but visualized in Splunk. The filter was designed to alert anytime a user made a configuration profile manually installing on their Mac. Of course, this is a sensitive event because we normally say that all profiles should be installed through a managed mean, like an MDM, like Jamf Pro, and we can enforce these settings for the user. In this event, we can see the endpoint's host name to identify all the Macs that have this custom profile installed. In this second example on the screen, we're looking for a successful password change on the Mac. We can see that the local password was changed by the test user, at a specific date and time. And these are just two examples of many available today. So the last point on the screen, streamlining endpoint remediation. In the event of a security event occurring on the Macs that requires further engagement and remediation, Jamf Pro offers some fantastic avenues of streamlining and even automating the required action. Examples of this functionality are we can remotely lock and wipe a device and easily onboard it again after. We can patch or redeploy macOS App Store apps or third-party applications. We can deploy new and more restrictive configuration and management profiles for high-risk devices. And we can execute new commands and scripts to the endpoint to perform file system changes, system configurations, and we can also upload forensic artifacts to a collection point like Amazon S3. So Jamf Pro is equipped with two robust APIs for extensive workflows and integrations into other business critical systems for the environment, like a Splunk in this example. So the endpoint remediation example. What we see here is known malware being prevented from executing and the file is being quarantined. The quarantine event is detected with a custom analytic and placed in the Jamf Pro smart group. A policy and script runs to acquire the malware sample and upload it to an S3 bucket. So we can find more of these policies and scripts on our GitHub page that you can see on the screen. So here we see it in the S3 bucket. So after that deeper dive into Jamf Protect, of course, we didn't cover everything, but I hope you have a good understanding. So now we are at the part, why Jamf? Well, we have over 20 years of innovating, iterating, and growing alongside of Apple. Jamf has been dealing with macOS management and security since 2002. The benefit of our Apple focus is that we are able to dedicate all of our engineering to the Apple platform and build solutions specifically for macOS. Because of that, the whole Jamf product experience is what we can provide. So we have the community, the ecosystem, the product, trainings, and more. So becoming more important is, of course, same-day support. Also in the security space, with the examples we gave earlier today, with the same-day vulnerabilities. On the screen, you can see our track record. This is for Jamf Pro, but it's also for Protect and all our other solutions. Since 2012, we've been ready on the same day for operating systems. What you can also see on the screen is that updates on macOS and also for security toolings are getting more frequent. We used to have only one on the screen back in 2012, but of course we now have iOS, tvOS, iPadOS, frequent macOS updates. We have 4 big ones a year, and of course in between security updates. So it's becoming more and more needed to have the same day support also for security tools. So thank you for listening. If you're ready to get started with Jamf Protect, please reach out to a sales representative at Wediggit. And I think it would be good if we can now move on to the Q&A section.
Yes, thank you very much, Freak. Thank you for that full review of the Jamf Protect capabilities. We have some questions that we want to share. Let's get started. So first,
Awesome.
I want to say that we at the Wediggit team here in Israel give full support, service, installation of the Jamf Protect, and assist the Jamf team from abroad. So feel free to contact our sales representatives and myself. We will be sharing the recording of this webinar and contact details. So on to the first question, Freak. So we got how long does it take Jamf Protect to be made compatible with the newer versions that are released of the macOS rapidly?
So as I answered during the presentation, it is same day. Since we work so closely together with Apple, we basically get information beforehand on what is being introduced. So our security teams are working on getting all the functionality ready on the same day. So basically, you are safe to upgrade the moment a macOS update comes out or there's a security update. We are ready with our toolings. Yeah. So same day.
Fantastic. Thanks. Second question about malware. Is the Jamf Protect able to detect the 0-day and other unknown threats? Things that we are not aware of?
Yes, 100%. So for the known malware list, we actually work together with Apple as well. Of course, there's a list of known threats that we can, tap into. But we also work with the behavioral detection for 0-day and other unknown threats. Of course, it's very hard to see, unknown threats. So how do we do it? Well, generally speaking, pieces of code are being reused. So we can either detect them when they are being run. We can block malicious actors already. And of course, with the detection on device, if we give a quick example, some of your users are taking a lot of screenshots in a very short period of time. That's very suspicious behavior. So why would they do that? We can put that device in quarantine immediately to see what is going on. So it's this on-device detection that gives us a great advantage in detecting these threats that are macOS specific.
Fantastic. And that it goes alongside the Jamf's investment also in Wandera and the mobile security solutions. So
Yes.
We're seeing a strong emphasis on your part on that sector. Well, among all the security products that we've considered, is there any negative impact on the endpoint and the resources? So we saw a lot of CPU usage, etc. Is Jamf Protect any different?
Yeah, definitely. So the way the product is built from the ground up, it was designed for macOS. So since we don't have to take into account any Windows devices or any other toolings, we designed the product to be macOS first. So the moment we started engaging and making Jamf Protect, it was built for this specific purpose, doing macOS security. So with this, we also know how to tap in the tools already existing on the macOS. And if you actually run Jamf Protect, you can see it takes up then less than 1% of the CPU because it's very optimized for running on macOS.
I understand, and that's a very important key factor in the Israeli industry that works heavily in computing, machining, and programming, Mac-based. Thanks. Another question. Can protect the secure devices that enrolled with any third-party MDM?
Yes, it is possible as a standalone solution. But as I also mentioned, macOS specific. So all the remediation part that we can do, like putting devices into smart groups when we detect something, that comes from Jamf Pro. And since smart groups is something that is unique to Jamf Pro, you can't really copy that in a third-party MDM, but you can use it as a standalone and also have data being pulled from Jamf Protect. So yes and no, it's not optimized, but it is possible. Yeah.
Okay, well, there is a reason why most of Fortune 500 companies that use Mac also use Jamf as their MDM system alongside the Jamf Pro. Well, final question, because this is pretty much a new product here in Israel, and the specialties is it support included in this product?
Yeah, so there's full phone, chat, and email support. What is also a great advantage that we're having, we also offer trainings for Jamf Protect specifically with the Jamf 370 course. We have a training catalog for our licensed subscribers that you can just access and get some more training on specific tools like Jamf Pro, like Protect, Connect. So yes, there is full support, and of course we have local teams with the likes of Wediggit that you can also contact. So you're basically covered all around on all products that we offer.
Great, that's super. That's very important, and of course, our Jamf integrators here in the company will be happy to assist from the local standpoint of view. Another question: can you integrate Protect with Okta or other authentication apps?
It would be good to dive a little bit more in this. Do you mean authenticate in the portal or authenticate something else? Because I also don't see Protect there. So did you mean integrate Jamf?
Well, it's a question here from our audience, so I'm guessing authentication with directly with the Okta, Protect and Okta.
So we can definitely authenticate to log into the portal, but what we also have is with Jamf Pro and Jamf Connect combined, we can authenticate with Okta and authentication apps through the local user. So there are ways to do it. So to answer your question, yes. If you want to know more, please drop us a message. We can have a deep dive on this, but it's definitely possible.
Okay, fantastic. So if there is any more questions from the audience, we'll be happy to reply them. Freak, I want to thank you very much for this thorough overview, this technical drill down of the Jamf protectabilities. This is another fantastic product from the Jamf portfolio, offering for our customers here in Israel, which our industry is rapidly growing, and of course, its cybersecurity needs, the different working models that we have here, and other specialities of the companies here. Thank you very much for all the customers, partners that joined us for this webinar and took part of it. We will send you the recording, of course, and our contact details. Will be very happy to assist and give further information, a demo even, of the Jamf Protect product from here in Wediggit, and of course the Jamf Abroad team. Freak, thanks again. It was great.
Awesome. Thanks everyone, and enjoy.
Thank you everyone for your time. We'll keep in contact. Goodbye. Bye-bye.